What is it?
All right.
It is 6:15. We're going to call a meeting to order of the Board of Public Works for February 3rd, 2026. At 6:15. This should go quicker. Number 2, approval of minutes to January 20th, 2026 Board of Public Works meeting. Motion, Derek. Second. Any additions or corrections? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Citizens' comments? There's no citizens. See any? Moving on to request approval to solicit proposals for Columbia Band Shell project presented by Justin Casperson, Park and Rec Director.
All right, thank you and good evening, everyone. I'm going to make it short because I also have to go to parents' night for my daughter's last basketball game. So in 2025, Donna Rosar, who is a longtime resident with Marshfield, a registered nurse and a former Wisconsin State Assembly member, approached our department about making some improvements at the Columbia Band Shell. Tonight, this memo requests authorization to solicit requests for proposals, or RFPs, for professional architectural and engineering services, and to evaluate and design potential improvements to the band shell. I don't know, I'm going to go with a little history if you don't mind, but Columbia Park was originally donated to the village of Marshfield by Samuel Marsh in 1875. The existing band shell was constructed in 1931, replacing the earlier structure from 1903, and served continuously as a venue for musical performances and community gatherings since 1932. The band shell is considered a locally significant historical structure and is listed on the National Register of Historical Places under Criteria A, which is history, due to its long-standing association with public entertainment and recreation. Its Art Deco design and high degree of architectural integrity further contributes to its historical and cultural value. In July of 2025, the Parks and Recreation Committee approved Donna Rosar's request to pursue fundraising efforts to support restoration of the band shell. She established a dedicated fund through the Marshfield Area Community Foundation. An enclosed article from Hub City Times provides additional background on the project and Donna's intentions. Now, the project overview itself, the proposed project is intended to preserve the architectural character of the band shell while improving its functionality and longevity as a community asset. The potential improvements may include restoration or rehabilitation of the following elements: the windows and doors, flooring, brick and limestone masonry, restroom facilities, interior and exterior architectural features. Donna Rosar and the Marshfield Parks and Recreation Department anticipate working with a qualified design and construction firm. The selected firm will collaborate closely with the Historical Preservation Committee, Marshfield Civic Band Director, and other relevant community stakeholders throughout the process. Now, the funding commitment, this is usually where people are mostly concerned, is Donna Rosar has pledged up to $50,000 towards a community fundraising goal of $100,000 to support the restoration effort. All proposed work will comply with historical preservation standards and all applicable local, state, and federal codes and permitting requirements. Additional funding considerations include, prior to entering into any city contract, donated funds must be transferred to the city to cover those anticipated project costs. No city funding is currently anticipated. However, a budget resolution will be required to formally accept that donation. And depending on the estimated construction cost identified through the RFP process, competitive bidding for construction services might be required. So staff's recommendation is the approval to solicit and the enclosed RFPs for qualified architectural engineering services and to provide professional services related to potential improvements to the Columbia Band Shell. Following review proposals, staff will return to the Board of Public Works for their recommendation and approval.
I'll move to approve.
A motion to approve, second. Any discussion? Natasha?
First of all, on the 4 years that I've been in council, I have not ever seen an elected official donate $50,000 of their personal money to a public facility in Marshfield. So that's extraordinary and incredibly generous. So kudos to Don and Rosa for doing that. Two questions. One, I remember a while ago you talked about the wood floor because it was historic, and you've tried so many things. You tried tongue and groove, you had Amish carpenters, so is there any thought of how to meet the historic preservation but still somehow get a good floor that doesn't deteriorate?
Yeah, that's a great question. And if you guys remember, a couple of weeks ago, we had an individual come here during public comment who talked about the Weinbrenner building. He was an architect firm from West Salem. I've already been in contact with him about maybe some grant opportunities or additional funding. So maybe he has some ideas of how to preserve that flooring. But then the historical people are also very understanding. The round barn had historical windows. Those were wood made of pine. We put in vinyl. They realized, okay, there's new technologies, we have to accept that. So we're hoping we're at a point that we can maybe come up with an alternative product that would be accepted by the historical group. So that's not really up to us. It's really up to the historical preservation group, not locally, but the state and national level.
And then my second question is, part of the problem has been that part of that floor is not protected from weather, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, there's probably about 4 to 6 feet out front that's not protected from weather. Also underneath it is exposed to the ground. So underneath of it is just ground. So maybe there's some different ideas we can do to address that, to keep the moisture from coming from beneath. So I think it's attacked from not only the top, but beneath. And that's how it kind of deteriorates so fast. So we're hoping to figure out a solution. Our floor will be the number one probably priority, and number two will probably be like just updating the restrooms.
So is there any possibility to do some sort of extension of the roof to protect the other part of the floor, or does that change the design?
If we can have someone who's really creative in the architecture and engineering services, I'll challenge them to come up with that. But I have not thought of it, neither of our staff.
Any other discussion? I think you comment on flooring. There's about 10 different items now. They've come in the last 4 or 5 years. They started really coming up with a lot of different. We might be able to find one that use just like they did with the window.
Mm-hmm.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you, guys.
I know my computer. Anyway, I can't get my next item up. We're going to do the list of the Lincoln Avenue, Lincoln Station with. I can't get it up, but we'll run it without it anyway. You got all the information. Just what I'm going to say is just going to prove what you're going to do anyways.
Good evening. On December 9th, 2025, the Common Council approved issuance of a request for proposals for engineering design services related to the rehabilitation of the Lincoln Avenue wastewater lift station located at 605 North Lincoln Avenue. 3 proposals were received by the deadline. One was from Roth Professional Solutions in the amount of $77,300. Another was from Strand Associates Incorporated in the amount of $150,000. And another was received from Verbecker Associates Incorporated in the amount of $88,700. All proposals were responsive and demonstrated experience with municipal wastewater and lift station projects. Strand Associates and Verbecker Associates both contacted the city prior to the deadline to gain additional understanding of the project. A review team consisting of the acting public works director, acting city engineer, assistant wastewater superintendent, and myself evaluated the proposals based on project understanding, technical approach, schedule, relevant experience, and overall value. Following review, staff determined that Strand Associates and Verbecker Associates both submitted strong proposals. Verbecker Associates' proposal provides the best overall value and is within the $100,000 budgeted for this project in the city's CIP plan. Funding will be provided through sewer user fees and will not impact the city's tax levy. Staff recommends to approve the proposal from Verbecker Associates Incorporated in the amount of $88,700 and authorize execution of the professional services agreement.
Motion to.
We have a motion. Do I have a second? Andrew, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
The next item is the Bram Park water detention basin. My computer's not behaving, so.
All right, thank you. This pond we've been talking about for almost a year and a half now. This is one of the city's attempts to reduce our phosphorus discharge, which we're required to do over the next several years. Back in November of '24, the city was notified that it had been successful in receiving a DNR urban non-point source construction grant of $150,000 for the design and construction of the Brain Park Wet Detention Basin, which was the maximum grant amount awarded through that program. In early 2025, Strand Associates was hired to provide design services, clean water fund loan assistance, wetland delineation assistance, and bidding-related services. Plans and specifications are nearly complete and will soon be ready to go out for bids. And the plans and a tentative schedule are attached to this memo. I'm seeking authorization to solicit bids for the Brain Park Wet Detention Basin project.
We have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Any recommended items for future agendas? Seeing none? We have a motion to adjourn? Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. We are adjourned. Thank you.